Police in the studio here with us, Mr. Edgar. You know when they say police is your friend. Well, good to see you this morning.
Good to see you too. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's start off with traffic.
Yeah.
It's a night. It's always tough when you're in that gridlock. They say time is money and time is spent. So if you spend it on traffic, it's unproductive to a lot of people. There is a task force, which you understand. I think the state government also looking to see what they can do about that Apapa Road, the gridlock there. What's going on now?
Yes, the problem of traffic in Apapa Tinkan axis is truly a nightmare. It's a problem. But I'm happy that a series of meetings have been called by the management of the MPA with all the stakeholders, all the tank farm owners, all the concessionaires. So they are trying to solve that problem. At least let us have a permanent solution to that problem. But meanwhile, it behoves on us to ensure that we maintain some form of sanity there. And that was why during the last Security Council meeting, I suggested that we go into partnership. We have a joint task force. The task force is made up of the police, the civil defense, the Federal Road Safety Corps, and LASMA. As at yesterday, we have deployed effectively on that axis. We have a total number of 330 policemen spread around. We have 50 men from the Federal Road Safety Corps. We have 50 men from LASMA, and we have 60 men from civil defense, making a total of 490 men, covering the following locations: Apapa, Ajegunle, Kirikiri, Trinity, Ijora, Badia, Surulere, Ikpondri, and Lioni. And the area commander, area B, Apapa, is the ground commander.
What exactly would they be doing?
Their job essentially will be to ensure that these trucks and tankers maintain one lane as much as possible, so that other smaller vehicles could have some passage. You know that we have other businesses there. Some of my press friends in Vanguard have been calling me, lamenting the
right
situation.
Almost every day.
Every day on it, they are worried, and I feel for them because we have other businesses there. Apapa is not only about the ports or the tank farms. So we must make sure that we ameliorate the situation for those other businesses, and also ensure that port users have access to the ports. And don't forget that we also have the issue of security. When you have such nasty gridlocks, it's not unusual to have miscreants here and there wanting to cash in on the situation to rob motorists. So the task force will also take care of this. That is why we have increased the police presence and visibility.
So at the moment, this suggests that the challenge there is to some degree that of indiscipline of road users there.
It's more than that. The problem is fundamental. I was there very late yesterday night, at between midnight and 1 a.m. Some of those trucks, when I talked to some of the drivers, they have been there on that spot for over a week.
Wow.
Trying to gain access to the port. No holding bays. The tank farms don't have holding bays. Inside the port, no holding bays. So you can imagine when you have trucks all over the place.
That's a huge concern.
So it's a huge problem.
Yes, because if that is the much of a problem that we're faced with there, what will be your recommendations to perhaps open up other ports that can accommodate those cars?
Yes, if you ask me, as a temporary measure, I think MPA management must be looking into that. They need to talk to the concessionaires, those that so that they open up some bays for those trucks.
All right, we'll come back to that if you still have a thing or two to say about it. But yesterday you had the press briefing at the office, and then you also responded to that report which was published in the Punch about the policeman whose ID card was found at a robbery scene. You eventually paraded some people there. You did say that you were going to make that investigation public.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, is that putting a finality to that matter and what happened?
No, it's not. It's not final. But it was necessary to set the record straight, particularly because the reputation and integrity of that policeman was concerned. Because when I saw that report, I was worried. policeman stabs and robs, and that's ridiculous. And I traced, we have, our system is computerized, our personnel records computerized. So I immediately traced and located the
every
policeman.
member of the police force in Lagos.
Of course, computerized.
What do we need to do? If you get the number,
if you get the
something
number,
happens,
if you get the number, I punch in and I get his location. So I traced him to Dolphin, and I sent for him. He now told me that he was robbed. I said, where did you report? He said, Area G. Fortunately, he got the registration number of the vehicle. So I sent some assets after that registration number, went to the licensing authority and all that. Eventually, we were able to arrest one of the suspects, recover the operational vehicle. The suspect was interrogated, he confessed. He led us to arrest others. The only one of them now who is at large, I have issued a manhunt for him. And I decided to set the record straight because, of course, it has come out in the national daily.
Yeah.
Yes, I wanted everybody to know that this policeman is not an armed robber as alleged. He's just a victim. And fortunately, that gang has been gotten, and we don't intend they will be operational again in Lagos.
Speaking about another gang, there was also this matter which you spoke about on the 22nd of October 2017, where there was a show at Eco Hotel.
Yeah.
You declare certain persons wanted. Yeah. What's the story behind this?
Okay, yeah. If you recall, there was this show at Eco Hotel. It was a big show. It was a big show. And after the show, one of the artists, his name is David Jumbo Abiye, aka 2K, left after performing to his room. He lodged on the 8th floor of Eco Hotel, precisely room 847. And shortly after, he got a knock on his door, and these people said they were room service. He opened the door only to be confronted by 4 armed men. They robbed him, tied him up, tied up his girlfriend in the toilet, made away with a lot of his personal effects, expensive wristwatches, others, he claims valued over 10 million naira, and disappeared. When I got that report, it's another very worrying report because you all know that the security architecture around the hotel is great. So I was worried. I went there personally. We pulled out the CCTV footage. We did some interviews, and eventually we were able to arrest one of the girlfriends of the gang member. It was that girlfriend who now led, her name is Mutajero Nimota, female. She now led us to arrest 3 other suspects, Balogun Ademola, Obinaigwe, Omotore Tomise, all students. And when they were interrogated, they stated that it was one Damini Ogiolu, aka Bonaboy, who contracted them not only to rob the victim, but also to teach him a lesson. So it's more or less a hate crime, a crime of gangsterism.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll come back to that until maybe you now tell us what next for him now.
Okay.
That'll be when we return. Join us again. Welcome back. So you were talking about that hate crime. So what's the police going to do next on that matter?
Well, investigation is still on. The suspects might have pointed out in the direction of Damini Ogiolu, aka Bonaboy, but he has a right to defend himself. I have sent to his known residential address. He was not found, even at his usual hangouts. But fortunately, we sent a letter of invitation, and his dad showed up yesterday at the station, at the headquarters, and his dad has promised to produce him. So he comes to defend himself.
Now, you've talked about community policing, how members of society need to help the police to help us. Yeah. What exactly does that mean?
Well, I'm happy you mentioned that. You know, the official policing strategy, ideology for the force now is community policing, community safety partnership. You see, the police has come to realize that we cannot police communities, police societies alone. We must go into partnership. The functional word there is partnership and problem solving. So that is what we have done. You will recall that when I became Commissioner of Police Lagos State, I hit the ground running by attending 11 town hall meetings across the state to sell this ideology and my policing plan. And it's already taking roots. What we are doing now is we are involving the people more in how their communities are policed. We are setting up vigilante groups in partnership with the police bringing in the muzzle to take care of security of neighborhoods, especially between 12 midnight and 5 a.m. so that we don't have residential robberies. We are going into partnership with all groups. The nightlife of Lagos, you can see, is improving, and that's because of the partnership we have entered into with the hospitality industry. The entire essence is to ensure that people are more interested in policing. People involve themselves more in policing. I've instructed area commanders and DPOs, it's not enough to sit in your office. You must go out and meet the people. You must attend all security meetings, all town hall meetings, community meetings, street meetings, neighborhood meetings, find out the problems of the people, jointly solve them so that we have safer communities. We must join the people to fight cultism, fight crime, and this is what is happening all across the state. Recently, you heard in Okorodu, 500 youths renounced cultism and tendered their arms. This is part of the dividends of community policing, and that is the way forward in Lagos State.
Okay, so some of the hotlines, I don't know if you see or saw any of them. Let me just read out. Okay, there you go. You could see any of those numbers. You could screen grab, rewind your PVR, whichever one. So get across. They've said that the CPs, the DPOs, they need to get involved. So this is a matter that in the days ahead, we look forward to bringing you on again so we can talk about a lot more in terms of how we can help the country or help society help ourselves. It's our country. We need to see what we can do to make it work. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So there you go. That's the show today. We thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Chamberlain Osal.
And I'm Gimba Umar. Bye for now.